on Sports Central tonight. First game. Bangladesh under-17 registers a 78 runs win over Sri Lanka under-17 in their first limited overs encounter to begin the series on a high note. Second win. Australia extend their Ashes lead, taking full advantage of home conditions with a dominant performance in Brisbane, securing their second consecutive victory and leading the 5-match series 2-0 against England.
Smith takes it on. Can he win it with a six? Smashes it away. Umpire raises his hands. He's pumped the captain. Australia, they go ahead 2-0 in one of the most hyped series in the history of this fantastic Ashes. And Australia are
World champion. Lando Norris becomes the Formula One world champion for the first time with the barest of margins after finishing third in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and taking a 2-point lead over last-time champion Max Verstappen.
In order to stand centre stage in Formula One, and after 24 rounds, Lando Norris is the Formula One world champion. Norris wins the title in 2020.
And Miami for the win. Inter Miami secures their first MLS Cup crown, beating Vancouver Whitecaps at Chase Stadium as Rodrigo De Paul and Tadeo Allende struck late from a pair of Lionel Messi assists.
realised the goal achieved. Inter Miami champions of Major League Soccer.
From Studio 24C, this is Sports Central. And now, here's Vinut Varnasurya.
Hello and welcome to our starting bulletin for this week on Sports Central right here on other Derana News channel. Well, the weekend was action-packed and we have all the highlights in our rundown tonight, but we begin today with some legal updates. Colombo High Court today ordered a case filed by the Attorney General against Tamim Rahman for allegedly attempting to match fixing be taken up on the 7th of January next year. Rahman, a Bangladeshi national with a British citizenship, was the owner of the franchise Tambulla Thunders. He is accused of allegedly attempting to bribe a cricketer at last year's Lanka Premier League in a match fixing. The case was taken up before the Colombo High Court Judge Udesh Ranathunga today. The counsel appearing for the defendant had previously informed court that the accused was prepared to plead guilty and conclude the case expeditiously and that a representation would be made to the Attorney General in this regard. But the case was taken up today. The State Counsel informed court that although the defence had requested an opportunity to submit a legal representation to the Attorney General, such an opportunity had not yet been provided. Accordingly, State Counsel requested a day to discuss the matter and subsequently to inform the court about the stance of the Attorney General. Accordingly, the High Court judge ordered the case to be taken up on the 7th of January next year and directed that an update on the progress of the proceedings be presented at the next hearing. Moving to domestic cricket now, several matches of the Major League Cricket tournament organised by Sri Lanka Cricket concluded in Colombo today. At the Pisara Oval in Colombo, Akila Dhananjay with a match bag of 8 for 104 runs helped Coles Cricket Club defeat Chilaumerians by an innings and 31 runs. The Major League Tournament's three-day encounter between Coles CC and Chilaumerians ended at Pisara Oval today. Coles won the game by an innings and 31 runs. Batting first, Chilaumerians totaled 232 runs in their first innings before being bowled out. In reply, Coles scored 341 runs with Dinesh Chandimal making a top score of 152 off 176 balls. Charlene Demel scored 76 runs. Chilaumerians, who began their second innings needing 109 runs to avoid an innings defeat, were bowled out for just 78 runs. Akila Dhananjay was the chief destroyer, picking up 5 wickets for 27 runs. He picked up 3 wickets in Chilaumerians' first innings. Meanwhile, at the CCC grounds in Colombo, Tamil Union recorded a first innings win over Badurulia Sports Club. After being put into bat first, Tamil Union scored 347 for their first innings. Sharujan Shanmuganathan top scored with 123 runs. In reply, Badurulia were bowled out for 205 runs in their first innings. Kesharan Wantha top scored with 46 runs. Vijayakant Vyaskan was the pick of the bowlers with 4 wickets for 45 runs, while Kamidu Dilhara bagged 3 wickets for 43 runs. Tamil Union declared their second innings at 97 for 9 as Malinda Pushpakumara with 4 for 38 tore into their innings. When the stumps are drawn in the third and final day, Badurulia were on 56 for 2 in their second innings. Meanwhile, at the SSC grounds in Colombo, Nugegode SWC survived an innings defeat against the strong CCC team. Batting first, CCC totaled 452 for 9 in their first innings. Sri Lanka Test skipper Dhananjay De Silva top scored with 117, while Pawan Ratnayaka made 98 runs. In reply, Nugegoda were bowled out for 238 runs in their first innings. Lohan de Soisa top scored with 51 runs. Nishan Perez was the pick of the CCC bowlers, capturing 7 wickets for 67 runs. When the match ended in the third and final day this evening, Nugegoda were on 200 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in their second innings. Bangladesh under-17 registered a 78 runs win over Sri Lanka under-17 in their first limited overs encounter at Chattogram yesterday. St. Peter's College wicket-keeper Jason Fernando hit a fighting unbeaten knock of 78 in 116 balls for the visitors.
The home team, after being invited to bat first, scored a formidable total of 271 for 6 in their allotted 50 overs. Skipper Adrito Ghosh anchored Bangladesh under-17 innings with a fighting 103 off 138 balls. He hit 8 fours and 2 sixes. Akash Roy made 39 while Saurav Karmakar and Mohammad Naeem scored 32 each. Left-arm spinner Himaru Deshan was the pick of the Sri Lanka bowlers with 2 for 34 runs. Chasing 272 runs to win, the visitors struggled from the start and could manage only 193 for 7 in their allotted 50 overs. Jason Fernando top scored with an unbeaten 78. Hirun Matusha contributed with 28 runs. Sanal Veeraratne also made 34 runs. The second match of the 3-match one-day series will be played at the same venue tomorrow.
Noor Panthers emerged the winners of the inaugural Golf League, which ended yesterday. The 3-day league, which began on Friday, was held at the Royal Colombo Golf Course.
This was the country's first ever franchise format golf tournament. 8 city-based teams took part in this 3-day tournament featuring country's elite golfers. The teams represented Colombo, Kandy, Nuwara, Trincomalee, Hambantota, Galle, Sigiriya and Anuradhapura. The players for those franchises were picked through a player auction. After 3 days of intense battle, Noor Panthers emerged the winners while Trinco Sharks was placed second. Meanwhile, Hambantota Tuskers won the third place.
Let's head into a short commercial break. More sporting highlights coming right after this. You're watching Sports Central right here on Derana News Channel. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Central right here on Derana News Channel. We are heading to Dubai where the International League T20 is underway. A mind-blowing recovery effort by Rohan Powell helps the Dubai Capitals record a win against the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, marking their first victory in the International League T20 for this season. It was a slow power play for the Capitals as the Knight Riders bowlers were well on the attack inside, picking up 2 wickets. The third wicket fell soon after the power play when Piyush Chawla dismissed Shah and Jahangir, and the Capitals were on 43 for 3 wickets at that point. Then the nightmare for the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders came when Jordan Cox got together with Rohan Powell to smash all around the park, putting up a partnership of 119.
Line there, he strays down outside the leg stump and he pays the price. That's been threaded through. Don't bother running after that. That's 4. Great shot, Jordan Cox. That's gone all the way. A very powerful player, Jordan Cox. Ooh, goodness, that's been hit hard. Been belted for 4. Helped on its way for a boundary.
Jordan Cox contributed with 52 runs off 36 balls. But the major contribution was done by Rohan Powell, who smashed 96 runs at the end of just 52 deliveries with 8 boundaries and 4 sixers. Thanks to the 2 batters, the Capitals amassed a total of 186 at the end, losing 4 wickets.
20s and third in DP World ILT20.
Ooh, goodness, he's hit that hard. He's hit it very hard and it's gone all the way to the seats for 6. Big, how big? Oh, it's gone for 4.
Coming to chase the target they initially didn't see coming, the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders were soon in trouble when Alex Hales was sent back by his fellow Englishman David Willey. Willey struck back again when he took the wicket of Alishan Sharafu in the last ball of the opening over.
Use of the feet
Didn't quite get hold of it. Fielder gets around and catched.
With 2 wickets fallen in the first over itself, pressure was already falling upon the Knight Riders, and Mustafizur Rahman's bowling second over used it well, capturing another wicket for the Capitals. Knight Riders were on 10 runs, losing 3 wickets, and thanks to Phil Salt they moved up to 40s, but Mustafizur Rahman somehow got the breakthrough.
Gosh, that is so good. Out. Stood still too long. Rodman Powell takes a simple catch, and that's a crushing blow for the Knight Riders to lose Phil Salt.
Then it was Waqar Salam-Keel who took the helm and made sure regular wickets fell and no batter was given the chance to play an impactful innings. In the 16th over, the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders were bowled out for 103 runs and the Dubai Capitals ended their winless streak this season.
And maybe another one there. Yes, make it 4. Picking up his 4th wicket. Jordan Cox was the man at mid-off, and Knight Riders have just bowled out in 15.30 for 103. Capitals winning this game by 83 runs. Big victory.
Moving to the Ashes 2025 updates now, England batted against type and belatedly produced a rear guard, but it was in vain as seamer Michael Neser justified his continuing selection with a 5-wicket haul to lead Australia to a crushing second test victory at the Gabba in Brisbane.
Around the cricketing world, I hope you've been enjoying the pictures, the sights and sounds of the game.
Starting day 4, England were on 134 after losing 6 wickets with only Zach Crowley earning a decent innings in the previous day. Skipper Ben Stokes and Will Jacks came out to bat for England and Michael Neser and Scott Boland had picked up 2 wickets each in the previous day. The 2 batters well composed themselves and survived for a while with both batters moving up to the 40s. But a sensational left-hand catch in the slips by skipper Steve Smith led to the breakthrough of the partnership with Will Jacks departing for 41 runs off 91 deliveries.
Incredible!
Is that the moment? That is one hell of a catch.
Skipper Ben Stokes was able to reach his half-century.
Well, that is the 50th time that he's passed that mark in test matches. It's been a lot of hard work from Ben Stokes.
But some strategic fielding placements sent the England captain to the stands soon after he achieved his 50-run mark, with Michael Neser picking up another after Alex Carey was brought closer to the stumps and pace change did the magic for Australia.
Just kissed off the wicket, nicely outside edge. Alex Carey, your hands have been absolutely amazing.
And that is a huge wicket. He knows it too.
8 wickets were down at this point and Brendan Doggett was able to dismiss Gus Atkinson with another good catch by Steve Smith. Michael Neser on 4 wickets upgraded his bag, picking up his 5th, dismissing Braden Carse and bowling out England for 241 runs and a lead of only 64 runs.
Michael Neser, he'll hold that ball to the crowd and he's got Pfeiffer at the Gabba.
With only 65 runs needed and 1.5 days remaining, the home team had a high morale. Gus Atkinson was able to pick up 2 wickets, but it wasn't good enough for England to turn the table at this point.
Told him to bowl faster, Steve Smith, and he did, and he set him to the rope. Nice bit of sizzle. They're at it again. Eye to eye. Archer and Smith are still going.
Steve Smith saying, look at the scoreboard.
If this is short, it's going.
It is. He takes him on. Stephen Smith clears the lot. What an answer by Smith. Looks at Archer and sends him over the rope.
Archer can't look at him. Smudger is in for the fight. He's hit with the pace and into the second row. Joffrey turns away, as you do.
Jake Weatherald and Steve Smith scored the winning runs for the home team, securing the second win in the 2025-26 Ashes, leading the series 2-0.
Raise his hands. He's pumped the captain. Clears the rope to win the test match. Australia, they go ahead 2-0 in one of the most hyped series in the history of this fantastic Ashes. And Australia are dominating England. Again, an 8-wicket win.
Yeah, I mean, the adrenaline was pumping at the end there. Obviously, we didn't need too many to win, and Joff was blowing pretty quick, had a short boundary behind me, and I thought, why not just try and get up and under a few and put a few in the stand, and yeah, fortunately hit the middle of the bat on a couple of occasions. So yeah, no, it was a huge win. Obviously great to go 2-0 up. It's been a wonderful couple of weeks for the team. I think we've played some sensational cricket. We've identified moments in the game and made the most of them. So yeah, it's been good fun. Honestly, any win's good. when you win in 2 days for the first one, a couple of days off is always nice, and then, a day off tomorrow. So, the guys are happy with that. But, no, they've been 2 really good test matches. I think we've played some great cricket, so it's been great fun, and hopefully we can back it up and wrap up the series in Adelaide.
Yeah, another disappointing week. But again, on the back of that, we're gonna have to speak about that and do that again for next week. But yeah, another disappointing week where sort of again we sort of were able to pull the game back, a little bit towards us and then let it go again, on a couple of occasions. And that was the same thing last week as well. So yeah, another disappointing week. But there were some moments in that game where we were looking like the team, with obviously the ability that we have in the dressing room of, if we can sustain that quality of cricket for longer periods of time, which we haven't been able to do in these first 2 games, then hopefully then the performances will start coming from that.
Now it's time to give you the last updates for this year from the Formula 1 circuit. Lando Norris becomes the Formula 1 World Champion for the first time with the barest of margins after finishing 3rd in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and taking a 2-point lead over Max Verstappen. The 26-year-old becomes the Britain's 11th F1 World Champion and is the first McLaren driver to win the title since Lewis Hamilton in 2008.
It all comes down to this. Green flag at the back. It is time to crown a champion. The title decider at 2025 is underway. Max Verstappen chops across.
The 2025 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix began with reigning champion Max Verstappen starting from pole position, flanked by the title contenders Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in 2nd and 3rd respectively. On the opening lap, Piastri made a bold move, passing his teammate Norris to gain 1 position, leaving Norris to settle into 3rd.
Closing in, Aston Martin versus Ferrari in the background, and it's Charles Leclerc on the power first. Max Verstappen leads.
Yeah, Max has got the dream start. He's broken that slipstream as Oscar continues to weave, and Oscar's going on the outside of Lando.
Can he go the long way round? This would be audacious. That is absolutely unbelievable. Still fighting for this title. Oscar Piastri up to 2nd.
Wow.
Verstappen, who held his lead throughout the race, knew that for him to win the title, Norris needed to finish in 4th or lower. However, Norris had other plans and was determined not to fall to that crucial position. Norris's only real moment of concern came after his first pit stop on lap 16, when he found himself further down the order and had to fight his way through a pack of cars on older tyres. A resilient drive from Ferrari's Charles Leclerc kept the pressure on Norris throughout the race. Leclerc looked threatening at times, but despite his best efforts, the Monegasque driver ultimately finished just over 5 seconds behind the McLaren in 4th. At the front, Verstappen sealed a remarkable victory in what was perhaps his greatest comeback, taking the checkered flag in Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
He came roaring back, but the comeback of all comebacks will fall short. Max Verstappen wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
But despite Verstappen's win, Norris managed to hold on to his 3rd place finish, maintaining just a 2-point lead over Verstappen. That result meant Norris clinched the 2025 Formula 1 World Championship, securing his first ever title after a hard-fought season.
Centre stage in Formula 1, and after 24 rounds, Lando Norris is the Formula 1 World Champion. Norris wins the title in 2025. To call yourself the champion, you have to still be standing by the end of the fight.
The victory came in his 7th year in Formula 1, all of which had been spent with McLaren. Norris had stayed loyal to the team, which through the years of perseverance had finally emerged as F1's dominant force.
Their boy, win it all.
The feelings around just unbelievable for Norris. This is the culmination of a life's work. 26 years old. His parents have put so much into him going racing as a boy. You've got to find your way into the right car. You've got to do the job when you're there and enjoy these moments.
I mean, the most happy I've ever been. That's an easy one. I don't know what I'm meant to say, honestly. A lot goes into a season like this. Yeah, I mean, today, P3 is all I needed to do. Of course, I would have loved to do a bit better, but I was happy with that. And Yeah, it's never a straightforward race. You know, there's a lot of stuff that plays on your mind into a race like today, especially when I'm up against, two of the other best drivers in the world. So, you know, you always expect the worst in a way. But today was a fairly smooth day, and I achieved my little dream from many, many years ago. A dream that I shared with my parents, my whole family. They've all supported me since I was a kid, and it's always hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine.
I feel good. I mean, I was already prepared for these kind of outcomes because we needed a bit of luck, to win. And from our side, at least, we optimized the weekend perfectly. We put it on pole. We won the race in, I think, dominant fashion. So there's nothing really that you can say about that. That you, at the end, of course, then, lose the championship by 2 points. Looks, of course, painful, but at the other hand, if you look from where we were in Zandvoort, more than 100 behind, then I think it's not too bad.
Another short break, more sporting highlights coming right after this. Stay tuned, you're watching Sports Central on Other Derana News Channel. Welcome back to Sports Central. We are heading to the football field now. Inter Miami secured their first MLS Cup crown, beating the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1 at Shea Stadium as Rodrigo De Paul and Tadeo Allende struck late from a pair of Lionel Messi assists.
Despite Thomas Mueller driving a Vancouver side that controlled long stretches and created the better chances, the final ultimately swung on the Argentine's influence as he secured his first MLS League title and capped his finest season on American soil. Miami opened the scoring in the 8th minute when Messi slipped Allende into space and the winner's low cross deflected off Vancouver defender Eddie Ocampo and into his own net. Vancouver kept control of the ball after the break and finally made it count on the hour mark when Ali Ahmed drove into the box and fired a low shot that Rio Novo reached but could not keep out, the ball rolling over the line to bring the visitors level. Miami restored their lead in the 71st minute when Messi pounced on a loose Vancouver touch and slid the ball across the box for Rodrigo De Paul, who swept his finish past Yohei Takaoka to cap the move with trademark composure.
But then you lose the ball and immediately falls to the feet of Lionel Messi. Rodrigo De Paul has been...
The hosts sealed the title deep into stoppage time when Messi threaded a pass to Allende, sparking emotional scenes with Jordi Alba in tears as he and Sergio Busquets, longtime friends and former Barcelona teammates, closed out their final match.
Realised the goal achieved. Inter Miami champions of Major League Soccer.
The 2026 World Cup will kick off on the 11th of June next year with joint hosts Mexico and South Africa at the Azteca Stadium venue of the 1970 and 1986 finals, followed by South Korea against playoff winner after the draw was made. South Africa appearing for the first time since 2010 when they drew with Mexico in the opening match but failed to reach the knockout stage. Fellow hosts United States and Canada will join the party the next day against Paraguay and a playoff winner possibly Italy respectively in Los Angeles and Toronto. Defending champions Argentina will group with Algeria, Austria and Jordan, while 5-time winner Brazil will play Morocco, semi-finalists in the 2022 season, and Haiti along with Scotland. The Scots are appearing in the finals for the first time since 1998 when they lost to Brazil in the opening game. France's first game will be against Senegal in a repeat of one of the biggest tournament upsets when the Africans stunned the den holders in their first game of the 2002 tournament. England will start against Croatia, who beat them in the 2018 semi-finals, and also face Panama, who they beat 6-1 in the group stage in the same tournament. The teams outside the host groups will have to wait until Saturday to find out the venues and kickoff times for their games after FIFA attempts to optimize venues and kickoff times relating to the various worldwide TV markets. A newly introduced seeding system ensures that the current top 4 in the world, Spain, holders Argentina, 2022 runners-up France and England cannot meet until the semi-final stage if they win their groups. The 48 teams, including 6 still to be decided playoff winners, were divided into 12 groups of 4 to produce a mammoth 104-match schedule across 16 cities in the US, Canada and Mexico, culminating in the final in New Jersey on the 19th of July next year. The Olympic flame started its journey through Italy from Rome, launching a 2-month relay designed to stir excitement across the country ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics.
After being lit last month in ancient Olympia, the Greek home of the ancient games, and handed over to Italian games organizers earlier this week, the torch set off from Rome's fascist-era Stadio dei Marmi. Local organizers Milano Cortina Foundation president Giovanni Malago said that for them, the flame is to be protagonists in the world, especially in this historic moment for such a delicate item. About 10,001 torchbearers will carry the flame on its 12,000-kilometer Italian journey, wearing white uniforms with a red and yellow pattern recalling the Olympic flame. Italy's Olympic medal-winning swimmer Gregorio Paltrineri was the first, followed by foil fencing champion Elisa Di Francisca and gold medalist in the high jump Gianmarco Tamberi. Accompanying the torch out of the Stadio dei Marmi was basketball player Achille Polonara, who is battling leukemia. The torch will travel through all 110 Italian provinces and more than 300 municipalities, stopping in 60 cities for end-of-day celebrations before reaching Milan in time for the opening ceremony on the 6th of February. The flame will pass landmarks such as the Colosseum, the Vatican, Venice's Grand Canal and Siena's Piazza del Campo, and spend Christmas in Naples. It will be in Cortina d'Ampezzo on January 26th, exactly 70 years after the opening ceremony of the 1956 Games at the same venue before concluding at Milan's San Siro Stadium. Unveiled in April, the Milano Cortina torch features an aerodynamic silhouette inspired by the curves of the Dolomites and the dynamic lines of ski tracks. Crafted from recycled aluminium and steel, it reflects the game's sustainability goals. Italy, a winter sports powerhouse, last hosted the Winter Games in 2006 in Turin. The 2026 Olympics will be co-hosted by Milan and the Dolomite resort of Cortina d'Ampezzo and run from February 6th to the 22nd, with the Paralympics to follow in March.
Well, that wraps up our first bulletin for this week right here on Ada Derana Sports Central. Well, we value your feedback, so don't forget to send it via email at feedback.adenglish@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-8057-933. Preetika Sivakumar is joining you next on Ada Derana World News Tonight. Well then, have a very good night.